What's up, guys? Welcome
What's
back
up?
to episode 4.
Should I start every episode? What's up? Every time. Episode 4.
Episode 4.
Yeah.
We're filming this right after the last episode. That's why we're wearing the same clothes. But we just did the last episode on Branson.
I didn't know we
Yours
were going
truly.
to tell you that. I took my sweater off.
Whoa! But today, the day you're listening to this, we're talking pretty much exclusively about vinyl. And just kind of get into the nitty gritties of like where it started, where it is now, and where it's going to go.
Yeah.
So,
The
Branson,
journey of vinyl coffee.
you alluded to it in the last episode. So if you haven't listened to that, go listen to that. But when did vinyl see its birth?
So I would say August of 2019 was like,
Okay.
that's when vinyl didn't exist yet.
Dang, so you're coming up on 7 years.
7 years of the vision. Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I
I didn't know it was that long. That's crazy.
That's actually nuts. Yeah, it'll be 7 years in August.
Okay, whoa.
Of this year. So, but yeah, it was August of 2019,
Okay.
and I was home for a couple weeks post Nashville, and I just saw a need in this community, and I knew what the impact that coffee shops had. I knew the impact coffee shops had on
Yep.
me, and how essential it was, like for connection and.
Because even just
Yeah.
for you basically lived in them in Nashville.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, lived in coffee shops in Nashville. Like, I went to the Well Coffee House, made some awesome friends, and like those were the people that I literally went to go see the Lego movie with. You know, it's like all because I was sitting in a coffee shop journaling because I was a lost puppy in a town that I didn't know anyone. And like, yeah, so coffee shop was like literally where I connected, and then I made a friend in Nashville, Theron, and we would bounce coffee shops together. And Theron and I are still super tight.
Good dude.
Yeah, great dude. And just got married. Shout out to Avery. She tamed the beast. So, but no. Yeah, coffee shops were like literally essential. And even when I was at OU, I remember my first week at OU, my phone got blown up by these guys who were doing a campus ministry, and they were like, "Hey, we want to just like get coffee with you." And I remember, like, it was a really good timing because I was like, "Okay, I want to explore that with these guys." But I remember just being like, "Go to a coffee shop." What? You know what I
What is
mean?
that?
What
Yeah.
is that? And
Which is fair because for me, and maybe you can relate, like growing up, it was Starbucks. It was Dunkin' Donuts. I didn't go to these type of places.
bro, we didn't even have that. We had Tim
True,
Hortons.
you were okay,
And that was it.
But
and
it's
I would
like-
get Tim Hortons on my way to Chipotle to work.
the
but
coffee
like,
in my life was that or the burnt stuff from church.
yeah.
So nothing like it makes sense why it was like coffee shop.
Yeah, it was just different. And especially growing up in a small town like Washington Courthouse where going to a coffee shop to just chill was like unheard of, you know? And so early in my OU time, I started going to coffee shops, and we would hang out in this one called Front Room. We called it Froom, you know, and we would spend a lot of time there. And I knew nothing about coffee back then. I look back, I'm like, I was drinking the worst of the worst coffee back then. But the space is what mattered to me at that time, and connecting with people. And I remember like, even I just have so many vivid memories of my first time meeting different people. Like my friend Nate Sarr, who I still love to this day. Like the first time we met was at the Front Room, and I hit him up. And I was like, "Yo, you play drums, and you are like in music production too, and you kind of are similar journey as me in terms of faith. Like, let's get together and meet at Front Room." And
That's cool.
I remember that vividly, you know. And so being home in Washington Courthouse for a couple weeks, and there wasn't that. And like Tim Hortons has a lobby. But
Sure.
after being in Nashville, I was like, dude, a coffee shop can be way more than
Yeah.
just a generic lobby and mediocre coffee that has cigar ashes in it, or at least it tastes like it. Sorry, Tim's. I know Justin Bieber loves you, but I don't. Anyways, like, this was August of 2019, and I just saw this massive need. And like a little bit of backstory that I didn't get into before was like, growing up here in Washington Courthouse, it is like we were in the midst of the opioid epidemic, and we felt that as a community hard. Like churches were like fighting it, trying to fight it. Like everyone was like, how do we beat this? And there was a guy that I grew up with who got into it, and it was really sad. And like, I just remember, like, literally, bro, someone would go to the bathroom at McDonald's and we'd be like, wonder if they're shooting up, you know? That's how bad it was. And so a little bit backstory of like why was I so fired up to start vinyl here? It was like, I grew up with that. And then while I was at OU, I heard of this experiment where they put rats in cages. And they took rats and put them in one cage where they were together, and there was running wheels and there was tubes. And it was nice, and then the other cage was nothing. It sucked, and they put the rats in there by themselves. They were isolated. And both cages had water and heroin, both cages. And in the cage where the rats were by themselves, they'd hit the water, hit the heroin, always hit the heroin until they died. And then the cage where it was all the rats together with all of the amenities that make those rats thrive, they would hit the water, hit the heroin, and then always hit the water. They didn't want to escape the reality, you know? And that struck a chord with me for sure, because I was like, man, my hometown, people hit the water, hit the heroin, and they never go back, you know? And my stepbrother struggled with addiction. And like, and that was like hard to kind of know about. I didn't know him super well, but we ended up connecting later, and by the grace of God, he beat it. You know, he spent 3 years in prison and beat it. And he's still doing good today. So that's amazing. But I just knew that. Yeah. So that, all those things combined, I'm like, dude, this is what I got to do. I'm going to start this coffee shop. So it was a journey, man. I knew nothing about business, and you don't learn anything at college about like how, well, and maybe you could if you studied specifically starting a small business. But I didn't.
But still, it's just...
My minor didn't take me there, you know? Yeah. So it was like, how do you even start? Like, to me, it was like, okay, we need a space. We got to have a cool space. And that journey was one of the hardest parts of vinyl. Because I went through, like, I probably still just... The amount of money lost. Like, we rented this building and paid the down payment, the first month rent, and then... we didn't have to pay rent until like things happened, and the owner was supposed to do a bunch of stuff, and we were supposed to be ready to start building in January, like right when I graduate. Well, the owner of the building didn't do anything, and I still like this guy. Like, all is good, you know. He just had some life stuff and things too, and so it didn't work out. And finally, I was like, "Hey, man, what if I buy the building?" And so my mom and I buy this building. My mom's awesome. She supported me like as an idiot kid. And so we get this building, and we're believing in it, and like we're even talking to a potential investor that was exciting, and like COVID hit. And it was just like, totally all shaken up. And actually COVID hit before we bought the building, and then we still went through and bought the building. Okay. But when we were talking with this investor, it was pre-COVID. COVID hit, dude basically was tapped out. Okay. And because, you know, his business is, he had a chemical business that like was trying to make the chemical that would stop COVID from flying through the air. So he was kind of a big dog doing big dog things. Okay. I get it. And actually, hindsight, I'm glad it didn't work out with him, because he did some shady stuff to my friend, in my opinion. So, and that's all I'll say about that. But I'm glad it didn't work out. And then, it was one thing led to the next, and we kept thinking we were going to build this building. And it felt like a weird thing too, because I was like, man, now I'm the guy that owns a building that's sitting vacant. And it was like, that's the opposite of what I want to be in this community. But I couldn't do anything about it. Like, we realized pretty quickly that the building was going to humbly need $400,000. Realistically, now that I look back at it, I'm like, that building needed like $600,000 to be what I want.
It wasn't the best.
It wasn't the best, and I didn't know it wasn't the best until I did. I didn't realize that, like, how much I thought natural light was important to what we wanted to do. And I guess I kind of did. I was always like, man, I just wish we had more windows, but I didn't think it was like an end.
I see.
But now I'm like, I would never do a space like that. So if you're thinking about opening a coffee shop, there you go. Light. Natural light, baby. And I'll consult you. So
yeah.
So, but anyways, one thing led to the next. Things weren't happening. We're in the middle of COVID. I remember literally having panic attacks at the thought of like, man, will restaurants ever come back? Like, that's how I was so fixed on this that I was like panicking about what I thought might never happen. It was weird.
That's crazy.
But I was so fixed on it. And I look back at it, I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, I'm like, dude, how was I so fixed on it? I genuinely don't fully understand like why and how I believed in it so much. The Lord,
baby, He's keeping you on the path.
Yeah, I mean, that is it. I give credit to God for giving the vision, and like when the vision's from Him, you can't let it go.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was. And so, but man, it was a journey. And then I read Business Made Simple, 30-something pages, and I started to, like, I reached out to Kyler Kelly. Kyler, I just looked up to the guy. I always looked up to him.
Yeah.
As a kid, he was the best barber in town.
He's great.
He's awesome. And then I had some friends who were like, man, you just need to get to know Kyler. Like, he's doing business stuff. He's a small business guru in town. Get to know Kyler. So finally we connect, and like I would message him on Facebook a couple times. But awesome. Kyler and I are the same in the way that Facebook Messenger is not our thing. And so finally he was like, bro, come to the fire. Come to my house tonight at 8. We're doing a fire. We're having cigars. I never smoked cigars. So I was like, oh, yeehaw. Here we go. I kind of did, but not really. Not like that. And so I go to Kyler's house. And it's so funny. Like, over cigars in August of 2020.
Okay, so it's a year later.
Yeah, a year later.
Oh, wait.
So a year after the vision of vinyl came to life, right? Or came to my mind, heart, and soul. So I finally like connect with Kyler and a group of just amazing guys. Like, I still look back at this time and around the fire pit and genuinely I'm like, man, that really shaped me. It was an important time. And now I own another building with my friend Sean Wary, who was sitting around that fire with me.
That's
and
crazy.
At the time, his values weren't what they are now. And, you know, it's just cool to see how God and life and our journeys have like, whoa. And now we're doing another thing together, Sean and I. And it's just amazing. But that fire was literally so important. And Kyler inspired me. And then I read Business Made Simple. And that really inspired me even more and made me look at, like, I was shooting for the stars. And I wouldn't say that I was, like, necessarily too cool or too good to do something smaller. I really just wanted to start something great. Yeah. But I looked at my situation and was like, man, I just need to start where I can. Yeah. And so I go to Kyler, who owned the Super Sport food truck, and he didn't have a plan for it that summer, and he had a lot of stuff going on and a lot of mostly good things. And so I go to Kyler, and I'm just like, hey, dude, I don't know if this would make sense for you or not, but I know you've got the food truck and you don't know what you're going to do with it this summer, because we literally talked about it at the fire like last week. And I was like, and, you know, I've got this vision for vinyl that I want to see through and bring Town to life. Like, we're kind of aligned in those ways. What would you think about us hopping on the food truck and serving our coffee? So we literally like served chicken wings.
That's incredible.
And coffee. And because that's what the food truck did. They were known for those chicken tenders, dude. Okay. And they were good. It was a good time. I couldn't eat fried food. I still can't ever since working the food truck. But man, so we were serving mozzarella sticks, chicken fingers, waffle fries, and coffee.
That's amazing.
It was a funny combination.
That's amazing.
Man, we had to start small, you know, and we had to start where we could. And thankfully, like, a friend of mine loaned me a little bit of money to buy some equipment, and it was not very much money. You know, when it comes to starting a coffee shop, it was not enough. Yeah. And so we bought like this single group head espresso machine. I got the best thing I could afford, and that machine was awesome. But we started with very little, and we rocked this food truck for the summer. And it was so funny because we had some furniture from our friends at Roast Coffee that I bought off of him, and we would take this furniture around with us and set it up outside. And it was like, if we're going to do a coffee shop on a food truck, we still need to make it a coffee shop. Like, we would set up, I think we had like 8 seats around 2-seater tables, and then we had a couple couches, and we would set up the speaker, we'd crank some music.
That's crazy, you rock couches. That's so
dude, cool. The vinyl van homed our furniture.
We need to find a photo, and I'll throw it up.
Yeah. I'll get you some. Cool. There's some cool photos. And I mean, even on the food truck, we had a live music night. I remember it was like May 30th, and our friends Alex Merritt came and played, and then Carly Nisley. That's sick. And it was really cool, and it was like, it just felt like something was happening.
Yeah.
You know, it was special.
So
and
then-
Kyler was there. It was so cool. You
That's
know,
sick.
Yeah.
So then, I don't want to cut you off, but like, how long were you on the food truck?
Yeah, because I could ramble all day.
the next spot.
Yeah.
Hey, we're here for the rambling.
the food truck-
if you want to add it.
All right. The food truck was May 1st. We were convinced we were going to open on May 1st. What's crazy is the day before the outside mask mandate was lifted. Perfect timing.
Dude.
It was literally insane. It was like, oh, wow, that's nuts.
Okay.
So May 1st, we launch on the food truck.
Okay.
And we were on the food truck. I think our last day was maybe like August 17th, something like that.
Oh, so you weren't on there that long?
No, it was just the summer. And I'll tell you, it was like terrifying because it was me, Nathan Hirschler. We had Sierra Bruce at the time. She's now married. And then we had Brandon Papp, and it was the four of us. And then we had some people that helped that were in high school still.
Okay.
And so, but the food truck was hard. It was dirty work, and it was hard, and it was toasty.
Yeah.
And the way that we were doing it, it just wasn't the perfect business model.
Yeah.
And it was
Valid.
really hard and exhausting and burnout prone. And so like by the end of the summer, I could see it coming. And like Sierra got a job at a school. My friend Brandon had to see about a girl, and he moved to Columbus. I still miss him so much, but he married Colleen. I'm stoked for him. They've got a beautiful family. And then it was like the high school help that we had obviously had to go back to high school.
Yep.
And it was me and Nathan. And we were like, dude, what are we going to do?
That's
like, this is going to be,
crazy, dude.
we can't run this thing, just the two of us. It was a job. So then August 28th hit, and we were open in 143 North Main Street. So literally I went to Kyler, and Kyler bought this building due to a bunch of just tough circumstances. And he kind of ended up going through the struggle that summer. And it was tough to watch, tough to be a part of. It was just a funky season for him. But he did come out of it really strong still, which was really impressive. But he bought the building in that season that we then moved into. And Kyler just made a joke. He's like, man, if only you weren't working on that other building, you could move in here. And then like a week later, I was like, hey, Mr. Kelly.
So about that.
We called him Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kelly. Is there any chance that maybe we could start there, you know? And he let us. And so we flipped a space in a week. We sanded the floors. We painted the walls.
Dude,
we
I always forget it was a week.
Yeah, it was a week.
I wasn't here, but I mean, I've heard the legends.
Yeah, it was nuts. And we had a mobile coffee bar just by chance. We catered a wedding, and I built this bar to cater this wedding for one of my OU buddies. And I was like, dude, that's a cool way to like, maybe we'll do that, you know?
Was it the bar you still have?
No, it's
Okay.
one that's like in shambles.
Okay.
It was junk, dude. We didn't know how to build a mobile coffee bar yet. But man, thanks to my buddy Alex, we built that thing, and that's how we were like, we had a health license on the cart, and we were like, well, we can just pull the cart in and we're good. And that's how we opened in a week. And
crazy.
yeah, and honestly, like, thankfully our health department worked with us, and they were flexible, because I didn't realize that was actually, like, if it's parked still, then it doesn't work like that.
Okay.
It becomes a permanent thing. And so I didn't really understand at the time what the rules were as much, and I was just like, we got to be open. And literally it was like, will Nathan and I eat, or do we have to go get new jobs? It was like, this is either going to work or it's not. And that was the moment, you know? So we opened fast.
All right. Again, we had to take a break. One, because our camera had to be reset, but then
Got to
talking
tend
about
to
vinyl,
got to tend to the dough, baby. Go work on the focaccia.
which we'll get into. So, you had to jump in fast.
Yeah. Yep. We had to jump in fast because Nathan and I literally were depending on it.
Yeah.
You know,
That's crazy that it was that, like...
oh, it was
down
so
the
stressful,
wire.
bro. We were in there like sanding floors, like with the little bit of money that I had, like renting that sander felt like
That's crazy.
a nightmare. And honestly, we kind of botched the floors. Like the front 2/3 looked pretty cool, but the back third is like a different floor, and it did not look cool without a better finish. And so that, like, there are things in that week that I was like, wow, this is what I'm good at, and this is what I really suck at. So even
Insert Dawn.
Insert Dawn, yeah. And Dawn's like literally the best at building anything and everything, but he doesn't have the experience doing the floors, and that's so specialized.
I see. Okay.
And if we had more time, like Don was just like equipping us and then leaving. He had to work, you know. He had other stuff going on, and he was there for a lot of it. But then there are days where it's like, all right, boys, do it. I gotta go,
solo.
you know. Yeah, which is good for us. And the other thing that was so cool was like, we talked to Kyler. We're like, okay, we have 1 week left on the food truck, and then we're going to flip the space in a week, and we're going to open. And in that time, Caleb Marshall falls from the sky. Dude, literally, bro. He rolled up, dude. He's got his like cool Fujifilm camera. He's jacked, bro. He's like post-heartbreak healing type guy, dude. Just hit the gym like crazy all summer because he was like just got his heart shattered, dude. Like we were just talking about this yesterday, which is why I can say all that. Okay. He's gonna laugh when he watches it. But dude, that season made him a better man, so that's sick. He was jacked and like shows up like a stud, and he's like, dude, I just got nothing to do. And he literally like hopped on the food truck and helped us make coffee for the last week.
That's awesome.
And kind of saved us.
That's awesome.
And then the next week he was there painting, and like I sanded the floors, and now it's big. That felt like a big task. And the next day, dude, I got up early and I got in there and I sanded floors again. And then we let the dust settle, and I had to I sat down for a minute, dude. I fell asleep, and Nathan and Caleb kept painting while I was asleep.
That's
like,
crazy.
They were like, dude, we're in on this.
Just
and they helped me.
Rotation.
Yeah, it was sick, dude. And I had a headache and was like just beat up because I didn't know, dude. I like went all in on sanding those floors and didn't preserve energy at all. I just did it for like 12 hours straight, and it wiped me out.
I bet.
So fast forward to building the new building, and shout out to Gail and Megan Schaefer, dude. They crushed those floors. Like, I'm like, how did you guys do that? But I learned that I needed the professionals in the room for that process. I was like, I can't do that again. So, so we open up in the new space, and it was kind of surreal. Like, literally a week and two and a half weeks before that, we catered another wedding. So we did 2 weddings that summer.
How much coffee did you sell on the first day?
First day in the new space?
Yeah. Do you have any idea?
Man, barely anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I could look back. I'll pull it up. Now I'm curious. Like, we got to look at this. See
okay, so while you're looking it up, though, you opened up within a week.
Yep.
And then how long were you in that space?
We were there from August 28th, basically,
of what
2021.
Okay.
Until the end of September of 2025. So,
okay.
Yeah, we're going to go back to 2021 here. So we were there for 4 years, a little over.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So in that time, there was a lot of like rotation of team members. Some came, some left. What are you laughing about?
Brother.
What?
This is crazy, dude. If I'm looking at this right, our first day open, we sold 16 drinks.
Dude, that's like 30 minutes at Vinyl now.
Okay, hold on. I was looking at it wrong. I knew something was off. Okay. Hold on. I was like, no way.
We'll get there.
115 drinks. That's a little better.
Okay.
But first, like, that's what's like our grand opening inside of a space. 115 drinks.
That's crazy.
And then there was a Saturday. That next Saturday, we did 219 drinks. Dang. And that was crazy, dude. We had a
hustling.
It was really cool because we had that day. We had Noah Elliott, who is stupid talented. He come and play some live music. So a lot of the drinks that we sold were like during that live music, and it was the first car show that we hosted with Kyler and everyone else on that corner.
Okay.
And so it was the first car show that we did there, and that was like most of our sales that day weren't from being open in the morning. It was from that event.
That's still, hey.
Which was awesome. Cool, yeah. And it was a packed house, and we were using this GS3 La Marzocco. And there was like 2 or 3 times where we had to stop making coffee for 10 to 15 minutes because the machine overheated. Dude. It was literally that bad. It was like the machine couldn't keep up. And that's how we started.
That's stressful.
It was nuts.
So 4 years, team members came and gone.
Oh, yeah.
And just lots of change. What do you think the most like pivotal moments were in that space?
Well, yeah, that's great. Even on the food truck, there was a day where we were super busy and the GS3 locked up. It like did the thing where it overheated, and was one of the most pivotal moments. I looked up espresso machines that weekend, and I found what we now are still using, the 3 group head Slayer.
Really, it's the same one.
Yep, same one. And I found it that summer, and I like refused to look up espresso machines all summer because I basically, without going into it, had like a traumatizing experience leading up to the food truck with the espresso machine world. And so I wasn't looking at these things.
Yeah.
And I was looking up machines I thought I could get. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to look up Slayer. And this machine pops up, and I sent it to my buddy, and I was like, dude, is this fraud? And I sent it to the owner of Roast Coffee, Trent. And he was like, no, dude, that's coffee, like a coffee equipment depot. I think it was what it was. I'm blanking on the name. And Trent was like, that's like, they're good. And so I sent an email, left a voicemail. Trent sent an email. And Aaron from Coffee Machine Depot, that's it, Coffee Machine Depot.
Okay.
Aaron calls me up, and he's like, man, if you want the machine, it's yours. Monday morning. And I was like, what? And he basically was like, yeah, I got your voicemail. It sounds like you really need it. Like Trent gave me the rundown in his email too, so I knew to call you first. But if you want it, it's yours. And Aaron's the owner of Coffee Machine Depot. He's so cool.
That's crazy.
Dude, he's so cool. He's like, he calls his customers still. And like, I could call Aaron right now. He'd pick up. Should I try
That's
it?
amazing.
No, I'm just kidding.
No.
But he's the coolest guy. And he was like, so I was like, dude, let's do it. I pulled the trigger on the machine. I was like, Aaron, I just got to ask you, like, when did you put this out? When did you list it? And he's like, Friday night.
Dude,
and then I was like,
God
what?
right there,
Dude,
bro.
yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
He said 13 people reached out over the weekend for that machine. So literally, like, without a shadow of doubt, if I wasn't so busy that Saturday, I wouldn't have gotten that machine.
That's crazy.
It was
dude.
like, I literally had to see the machine that day.
Wow.
So it was insane. And we also just got some funding from CIC, the Community Improvement Committee here in town, or Community Improvement Corporation.
Okay.
And they gave me a really small loan that was going to help us get into a space, basically.
Okay.
And that was like perfect timing. And I literally just got that.
Dude,
and so it was insane timing. That was a pivotal moment. And then like move forward, we're in 143 North Main Street, and it was busy, and the single group head couldn't keep up, and it was stressful. We installed the 3 group head, and then that was maybe October we installed that.
Okay.
And then we hit winter, and like, dude, I don't know how we made it. I don't know how. It's literally insane. Like we were making 50 drinks a day max. Maybe less than that. I'd have to look, but I don't want to look anymore. So, but dude, it was bad. Like I genuinely sat at the table. The shop was empty, and I was just like, I don't know how we're gonna make it through this. And it was just me, Alexa, Nathan, and Caleb. And then Nathan came to me in that winter and was like, "Hey, I got to go to Roast." You know, we weren't making enough in tips. Yeah. And he lived in Chillicothe, so he started working at Roast, and he's still there, and I'm proud of him. I love that guy. But that sucked, you know. If we were bumping, he wouldn't have had to do that too. So it was just like, it felt like failure. And I genuinely was like, I don't know, like if it stays like this, we're toast. And it was scary, you know, because when I opened Vinyl, I was like, I don't want to open this thing and close it, because in my upbringing here in Washington Courthouse, I saw awesome small businesses come and go. Yep. And so I didn't want that to happen. And all that to say, like, this is the next pivotal moment. You know, I go to Florida because I had some amazing friends who were like, hey, just come visit, like take a break for a week, come stay with us, and then go back. And those same friends were like literally essential on my journey too. And in so many ways, bro, they saved me. They're amazing. So I go visit them in Florida. It's like the most restful time. They let me drive one of their cars and kind of explore. I would go to Perk Coffee, and I love the owner of Perk and his space. I actually haven't been there in like years, and I'm jonesing to go back there because he's so cool, and the shop is amazing. The coffee's great. And
so just a fully unplugged trip.
Yeah, totally unplugged.
That's good.
Except not really, because I definitely got on my computer and built our whole website and online ordering while I was there.
Okay.
And it was like 2 days of big chilling, and then the next 2 days I literally cooked. I launched online ordering from Florida. And Nathan was like, hey, bro, did you just launch online? And I was like, yeah, dude. He's like, yeah, we just got an order. So
That's
it was
awesome.
pretty cool. And Nathan that week, I was so impressed because like literally right when I got back was when he said he was leaving.
Okay.
But I was so impressed because even our ice machine had like some sort of issue, and Nathan fixed it while I was gone. It was like
That's amazing.
it was cool because it was the first time it was the first time that I wasn't there, and they took responsibility for those things. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
But the most pivotal part about that experience was I got home, and it was like I knew what to do.
Yeah.
And I called Don, my stepdad, magician builder, and was like, Don, I know what we got to do. We got to extend this coffee bar to the wall. We're going to put the pour over setup right over there where people can see it. And we're going to completely redo this thing and make it look way more pro. And we did that. And then once that was done, I looked at the space and I was like, okay, these fluorescent lights that are harsh, bright, make the space look cold as ice.
Yep.
Like, the space was naked and cold. It was horrible. And I looked at that after just being in Florida in these beautiful architectural spaces. I was like, okay, I know what we got to do. You know, so first things first, tackle that lighting.
Yep.
And we just placed the lighting based on where tables and stuff were, you know. And then once I put the lighting up, the light kind of told me where to put the art because the light was like symmetrical and with stuff like that. So then I was like, okay, we need the 3 posters there. We need the records up there. The mission statement was already on the wall. But then it was like, we need a couple photos above those sick chairs that my dear friends from Florida gave me to put in that space. Like, we got to put some cool art above that, you know. And all of the light was where those were. And it was like, it was literally a 2-week period where it's like, oh, this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
And I think that moment of being in Florida was refreshing.
That's cool.
That's like what kind of gave me the mental space to come home and go, okay, here we go.
Yep.
We execute that stuff, and within 6 weeks, we grow 30%.
Amazing.
And it was like, and it honestly might even be more than 30%, to be honest. Because February of that year, 2022, was so bad. I don't know how I made payroll. I'm like, it was bad.
That was the worst month, maybe?
Yeah. And I remember even hopping on the phone with my friend in Florida, and I was like, brother, I don't know how to, like, what do I need to change here? You know, and it was that bad. So by the grace of God, dude, we get the lighting in, we grow a lot. We get some traction in Cedarville University.
Sweet.
And students were coming out. And then, of course, like, we're crushing it in April because the students are coming, and I'm terrified that they're going to leave when college is over, and we're going to be dead
Another
again.
bad month, yeah.
Yeah. And it was crazy because then it was like as soon as they left, Washington Courthouse started coming more. And it was like we grew in the local community.
Yeah.
And then since then, it's just been a different thing, you know? And there's still bad months. There's like tons of highs and lows, and it's tough. But that changing the lighting was like a pivotal moment. That was key. And if I could give advice to any local business and any just future coffee shop or whatever, think about the lighting. It is literally, it's crucial.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's how your space looks. It's what you wrap your product in. It's like how the individual feels in your space. It's like, do I feel exposed and like, do I feel like I'm looking funky right now? Or do I feel like cozy and confident and like safe? You know, the lighting really does that. So that was a pivotal moment. Taught me a lot. It taught me like, okay. And I kind of knew, I mean, I definitely knew that aesthetics mattered, but for some reason it was hard to see that and like know what to do. Like I could look at something else and be like, oh, here's what needs to change. But looking at my own thing, it was like a little harder. Yeah. So then it hit. That was definitely one of the most pivotal moments.
So then we're going to jump forward a little bit.
Cool.
When did you buy 101?
Yeah.
And like the story of that to present day. I know that's a lot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess there is more pivotal moments. Oh, man. So I started the studio March of 2022. So it was kind of funny timing because it was like right when vinyl started to grow. And I started to do the studio a little bit, slowly working towards it. And from then, March 2022 is when we started. And up through like mid 2023, I was still focused on vinyl for sure, but I also started to really focus on the studio, spending a lot of time up there, working on music with some people. And I just got to a point where I was like, I didn't feel great, you know? I was like, and realized that I needed to refocus on vinyl, and the pendulum swung really far. I literally went from like really studio focused to like, okay, I'm all in on vinyl again, and this is what I need to do. And we were outgrowing our space, and we could tell, and we could feel that, and the whole team could feel that. And there were just things like we flipped the space in a week, and the plumbing was like the electric, all of it was like we did it quickly, and we didn't do it to be permanent. Even when we did it, like when we first moved into that space, it was still like we still wanted to move into that first building that I got. So everything we did was like, okay, let's just do this so we can be open, so we can operate and like serve good coffee, but like we're not going to go to the 9. And we knew we needed a different space. And then I caught a little wind that 101 might become available, but there was no like for sure sign. And there was a day that I went to Back in Time, the flower shop that was in 101 East Court Street before we bought the building. And I went in there and was hoping to talk to Kendra about a couple things, but I was going to ask her like, hey, is there a chance that you're thinking about selling? So I go to the building. She wasn't there. And I asked her employee if I could play the piano in there because I played that piano a lot. Like cool. Even in 2019, I played that thing. And I just sat at the piano for a minute and played Gratitude by Brandon Lake, which is like my favorite song, and especially at that time. And then I walk back to vinyl. I look at my phone, and I got a screenshot of the listing while I was in the building. And so I just had this hard pendulum swing. I was like, okay, vinyl, I need to be in on this. And like, I'm not done. You know, this needs to be bigger still. I just had that hard swing, and then that moment happened, and all within 2 weeks.
That's crazy. Yeah,
it was crazy, and I knew instantly. I said, okay, that's what we're doing.
So you put the offer in.
So the next day, I call my friend, and I'm like, hey, who should I go to for a real estate agent? I don't know how to do this. Like, I literally don't know how to do any of this. And I'm talking to my parents like, hey, this is crazy, but we got to do this. And my friend connects me with Jason Gardner. Jason was awesome. He couldn't meet me, but he sent one of his fellow agents, and they met me. They gave me the tour of the building, and I called Jason, and we kept bouncing, like, what's the next step type thing. And then that night we put the offer in, and it was crazy. It happened so fast. That's cool. I got to give credit to my friends in Florida. They helped me out with being able to get the building. Cause at the time I was 25.
That's crazy.
Like I don't have 2 nickels to rub together. I'm broke. Like, you know, I knew that I could handle getting some office space up there and take care of the building. Like I could do that. And my friends helped me to be able to get the down payment and all that stuff to get this building. And it was pretty wild. So very quickly, like we put the offer in, Jason helped us out. Like he was literally at a volleyball tournament.
That's crazy.
Night, and he like wrote up the offer on his phone and like sent it that night. And it was just amazing. He helped us out a ton. And it was just like, here's how we can go about this, and here's like what you want to do, you know, because I was clueless. And the first building that we bought, like my mom helped me out so much, and then it was like we were already talking to the building owner, and it wasn't like you put an offer in and it's like, here we go, you know. So it was different. And so anyways, we get the building and we close on it. And
what month did you close?
It was September of 2023.
Dang, okay.
Yeah, so 2 years into business, basically. And it's crazy. I like, before vinyl was open, I literally like would go just driving through town. Like I looked at multiple buildings, and I never once was like, the corner, the beautiful corner downtown. Dude.
The coolest building. It's sick.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's honestly like, it's so cool because I never thought we'd get that building. Didn't even cross my mind. It just felt too big for me. And I even remember saying something to Kendra of like, oh yeah, you should sell that building for as much as you can. And I'm like, I wish I didn't say that. But no, I genuinely just never once thought like that I would have that building. And it's cool because with that, it feels like it's not just a building that I bought. It's like a building that I'm responsible for. That's cool. And so that's cool, but it's also like kind of heavy,
Yeah.
and it's a little burdensome, to be honest. But I'll take the burden. I'm cool with it. But it is a lot in terms of like, and in the building process, and honestly, in the process that led to us being able to build, like getting estimates and like making decisions, getting architectural plans. The conversation wasn't like, how do we open a coffee shop as cheap as possible and make a profitable thing that just exists. It was, how do we like maximize what this building already is and what it can be? How do we like honor this building and honor downtown Washington Courthouse and make it beautiful? And how do we like make this something that will last a long time? And that is like, I don't know, it's this amazing building on a corner that's been there for 100 years. We have to nail it. It was like, you know what I mean? That was the pressure. And it was, I think I let that pressure get unhealthy sometimes, and it was like a little too hard on myself maybe as like a 25-year-old. And I'm still only 27. And I'm like, dude, I got to take it easy. Like, don't be so hard on yourself, dude. You're learning. But that building it's such a special building, and I knew it, and it just felt like a duty that I owed to the community. If like I'm going to own this building, I'm going to do it. And man, it was a process, because pretty quickly after buying the building, like I started working on the second floor office spaces and business suites, and that ended up costing probably double, maybe more, what I thought it would. And that was like terrifying. I remember being like halfway through the project, and I was like, I literally can't do anything because I'm out of money. I have to just wait. And then hopefully I can finish it. And it took me longer than I wanted it to. I basically did everything by myself, plus when Don could help. You know, the big things I'd have Don help. But I tried to do as much of it as I could, like the trim, and I guess I didn't do the trim, but I did a lot of it. But I didn't do the trim. Okay,
you did a lot.
It was so stressful too, and like there was so many moments that I was like, it almost got the best of me, you know, and. So, but those office spaces ended up costing way more than I thought. And they're done. They look awesome. I'm super proud of them. It's exciting. And we got two available right now. Stoked to see it needed to be. Yeah. So, but man, I definitely thought we would be, I was like in my head, March of 2024 was when we were going to open that building. We didn't open the building. We didn't move there until end of September of 2025. So it took so much longer, which was really, like, I look back, I'm like, I was a little naive. I should have known.
That's fair.
And especially like at that point with some past experience of like 109 East Court Street, that first building, not working out. It's like, I should have known how hard it was going to be. But hindsight's 2020, man. I was like, we got this. Let's go. You know? So, but we finally opened, and like, it was conversation after conversation after conversation, and genuinely it was like the hardest part was getting the funding. Because banks have to follow what banks have to follow, and it's totally fair. And it's more dependent on like how successful were you in the past 3 years according to your perfected tax returns versus what can you do if you triple your seating. You know,
which is so silly, but it makes sense. But it's so frustrating.
Yeah, and it makes sense, and it's like for
kills
anyone,
the American dream.
It does kill the American dream. But for anyone who has money in the bank, at least you know they're going to try to be responsible with it.
True.
Because like at the end of the day, they're lending out our money. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Not that we need to get into that, but but the financial side of building it was terrifying and stressful, and I didn't. There are definitely moments, and you were with me for this.
I came in about halfway.
Yeah. But moments where, you know, I would think, okay, this bank's going to work. It's like, this is sick. We're going to refi and do this, you know. Then, nope. And then there's like, oh, this person is maybe going to help. And you're like, I don't know about that, bro.
That wasn't good.
Yeah, it was shady.
Nope.
Yeah, it turned into something that we didn't expect. But that didn't work out. And then Glenn and
the man.
Yeah, he came in, and we connected a couple times, and just organically, it kind of happened that way. And I shared the vision with him, and he decided to believe in vinyl and believe in me. And even mid construction, I'm like telling him how like, dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, and he still believed in me, and was just such a graceful person to come alongside us and help.
So when did construction start?
So construction finally started like end of March of 2025.
25.
So yeah, and we started like first thing was demoing the basement. Literally, dude, it was like we start demoing the basement, and in that first week, it was like, oh, this is how this is gonna go. We found so many problems. We found like leaking plumbing. We found like because the basement was smothered with plaster, and these old walls and like old bathrooms that were disgusting. So I was like, we have to demo this, and we had to do so much stuff because it's like you can't do it after you're open with a coffee shop. It's like that would be a mess. And we serve food, and it's going to be clean. Like, we're not going to
I remember asking questions like, why don't we just do that later? And you're like, no. And now I see them like, that's why. Like, I forget what was it, but
cutting the windows maybe.
Yeah.
It's something. Like, no. You can't do it later, you know? And yeah, in the dreaming process, it became very obvious. Like, we have to do a new storefront. The old storefront was crumbling, and we saw that when we demoed it. It was a nightmare. And then, like, we knew we had to cut the windows down because we didn't want it to be a cave. There were things that were like, we have to do this. And everyone, and the best intentions, everyone was so supportive. But it was, why don't you just do it later? Why don't you just do it later? And that was tough because it felt like, I kind of was like, am I crazy? Yeah. Like, because I feel like we can't do this later, but everyone's like, you should do it later. And I'm so glad we didn't, dude. Yeah. I'm glad we held on. Because now that we're open, it's like, when it's open, it's too hectic to get in there and cut the brick. Makes a mess.
Like, it's hard enough thinking that list that we have, those simple things. Like, when are we going to do this?
Yeah. Yeah,
like
we haven't even put some shelves on the wall.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's so hard to do it once you're open and when the gears are turning. So...
But even those last couple of weeks were crazy.
Oh, yeah. The whole thing. And, like, so that we were doing the demo in the basement, and one of the support pillars fell out.
Yeah.
And it was like, I get a call. It was like, hey, man, so just so you know, like, this support fell out, and we've got a couple of 2x4s that we demoed out of that wall over there that's probably 50 years old holding up your whole floor right now. It's like, yeah, that's not good. So
literally
we ended up having to, like, jack up the floor in multiple spots, take the pillars out, cut the bottoms, pour concrete, and like get it to fit properly. It was a lot. And then, through the whole project, like we even like cutting the brick didn't go as smooth as we thought it would. And for whatever reason, I thought we'd cut the brick and it would just look perfect. And like it did not. It looked like it looked like horrible putty or something. It was not good. It was almost cool.
Well, you know what?
So close. It was like
storefront too. Another pillar fell.
Yeah. I'm literally working in the studio because through this whole construction process, I'm working in the studio 3 to 4 days a week just to like put food on the table because all of my money is like sinking into this building. And so I was spending a lot of time in the studio, and I'm working up there, and I get a call from the architect, Mark Heine, who this guy is the best. He did so much for this project, super great. Calls me up, and he's like, Branson, those pillars weren't supposed to come down. And I was like, Mark, what are you talking about? It's like the support posts from the storefront. Those are supposed to stay. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, one of them's on the ground. And I was like, wait, what? And I like walk up to the windows because I can see the building from the studio, and I look at it. And I was like, oh, gosh. And man, we ended up getting a quote to replace that post. And if we were going to replace one of them, it's like, you got to replace them both so they match. And the quote was like $10,000.
Yep.
And our budget was already, like, I could already tell in that early phase that we were over budget. And I was like, okay, how are we going to do this? You know? So thankfully, we got our structural engineer to come back up, the same guy that approved cutting our windows. He comes back, and he approved of removing them completely. Our steel beams were fine.
So happy they could like be removed.
Yeah, and honestly, it made the storefront look so much better.
So much better.
So it was a happy thing that happened, but in the moment, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
And then like we found that the second floor plumbing was leaking a ton and had to add that to the budget of fixing that plumbing. Meanwhile, we've got tariffs, like the threat of like, oh, this is more expensive now because of tariffs. And it's like, oh, great. Like, we started building at the worst time.
Yep.
It's how it felt. So it was terrifying, man. But I'll never forget, I was on the phone with Don one day. I was like, man, we got to speed this up. And that day, someone who is now one of my closest friends just walked into the building and was like, hey, I just looking for work. It was wild. It was like, it literally felt like an angel just showed up.
Yeah.
And now this guy's like one of my best friends. It's crazy. It's like, but he helped us finish out the project, and him and another friend of his were working in there. And then it was like my stepdad, every day, my stepdad gave his all to this project.
Hustling, bro.
Gave it all, dude. It's actually insane.
Literally
Like,
could not have been done without him.
no, it would have been too expensive and impossible. Like, it would have been way like out of budget for a coffee shop to do something like that. But because of Don being the most supportive stepdad you could ever ask for, it's insane. And so him and his son Dustin, so my stepbrother, and then I guess my step cousin Cole, whatever it is, like, it was so fun. And we honestly, it was like all these guys working in there every day. We all got so close, and it was like a blast. And you were part of that. And then but the last 2 weeks were a sprint, dude.
Gnarly, bro.
Yeah, and remember when I thought I had poison oak?
Yep.
Oh, dude. Turns out I was allergic to oiling the tables. It's like, how?
Yeah.
But
Dude, each thing took hours. Like, I just think back to that last couple days. Like, especially, that last week.
yeah,
Crazy, dude.
yeah,
Opening night was like, or the day before opening night.
yeah.
We had so many people in there.
Well, in the health department too.
Yeah.
When I
Oh,
go to the health
dude.
department and they're
Yes.
like, actually, and I'll take full responsibility. I guess I skipped a step and I didn't know it. And they're like, yeah, you're supposed to submit this 30 days ahead of time. And I was like, wait, what? We need to open in like a week and a half. And man, they were so kind to like work with us, but they wouldn't approve of the space until we had every piece of equipment in there. So he's like, how are we going to do that? So we literally had to close on Saturday, move every single thing in the hopes that we pass. Like, we were like, we're rolling the dice.
We had a sign on the old door and everything. Like,
Yeah, and we didn't even know if we would pass the health inspection. I mean, we were pretty confident. It's a brand new building. We built the kitchen right. We made it as nice as we possibly could.
did we pull an all-nighter that night?
No, but we were up late and up early.
We didn't pull an all-nighter that night?
I don't think so. Did we? I don't think so.
I think we did.
I think we might have slept 4 hours or something.
Okay.
We were there until like 2 a.m. and then we went home, slept, got back at like 6:30.
That's right. Okay.
It was nuts. So
And then health inspection passed at like 8 a.m. and we opened at 9:30. Something like that.
yeah,
Arrived
so
behind an
they
hour.
came at 8. We passed, and then we decided to open at 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah, and
You had like 20 people at the door?
I know, but dude, it was so crazy because like we just built this thing, and we knew that we needed to like it has to work.
Yep.
It's like we just put all of our chips in. This has to work, and I just remember that hour leading up to opening, we still had to like we didn't even have the door on the kitchen yet. We literally put the door in like 10 minutes before we opened the door. Maybe
I think
less
people
than
were
that.
in the store.
Yeah, it was pretty
In the
close.
shop
We were
store.
down to the wire, and we couldn't put it in because we had to get the refrigerators in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't fit if the door was in. So I was like, okay. But yeah, I just remember that feeling of like, I was kind of freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I was excited, but so terrified.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, we don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
And then it was amazing. Like, the community totally showed up. We had 20 people at the door ready to come in. The space was a little awkward that first like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then
I think we even moved stuff after the first setup.
yeah, we got the standing table like 2 days later. We were like,
True.
we have to have something for people to like
True.
stand at. It felt like that was like the number one thing. But it just felt like, but then like, I would say probably 30 minutes into the door being open, it was like,
Vibes
okay,
are good.
all right, we got this.
Yeah.
Bro, and then like, you just stole my phone. You're like, hey, dude. And just ran
true.
with social media.
That's true.
I didn't even know you were going. I mean, I knew you were going to capture photos and stuff, but I didn't know you were going to be like, dude, let me post this and go ham. And that was sick. It was crazy.
Yeah. that whole day and even that week was such a blur. That first Saturday was. Nathan still says that's the craziest day he's ever worked.
Yeah,
He
that
told me
first
that, like, a week
Saturday
ago.
was nuts. Yeah, I
came back to
hope
hope.
we can do days like that again, because that first Saturday was still like our best day.
Yeah,
And I think we served like 650 drinks.
it's insane.
And I was freaking out because I was like, can the coffee bar handle this?
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, that's the story of vinyl. You know, we started on a food truck. Timing just aligned. We get into 143 North Main Street thanks to Kyler's help and support. And then we end up in 101 East Court Street, this amazing building downtown. And it's really such an honor to be there. It's crazy. And it's humbling, and it feels like a responsibility and a duty. And honestly, this current season of vinyl, and you know this better than anybody else, is really hard. It's like
It's a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster, and we're relearning everything, and we're repairing everything, it feels like. And even just the stress financially is like, okay, how do we adjust to what this is? You know, it's a whole new thing, and it's tough. So, but we're still stoked. We're stoked to be there, honored to be there, and it feels surreal.
It's been such a. I mean, I haven't been here long, but it's just been such a anchor in the community already.
Yeah.
Oops. It's been such like an anchor in the community, and it's just like beautiful to watch. So.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. And it's really special to see people connect with a space, heal in the space, find themselves like at home in the space. It's really incredible to be a part of. And I genuinely feel like I'm just like serving the mission. Like I'm like, it doesn't feel like, I don't know. It wouldn't be possible without a massive amount of people that support and help, that cheer us on, massive amount of customers that show us love every day. I think of Randy. He is the best. He comes every day, super supportive. I think of Brad, like Lisa. There's this massive list of people that come all the time and show so much love and support. So it's really cool.
Special.
It's humbling, and it's humbling. Like, things go wrong. I'm not the best leader. I'm not the best boss. I'm not the best, honestly, at any of this stuff. But we're just learning, and we're growing together, and like, it's really special.
I'm proud of you.
Hey, thanks, man.
You've been hustling it,
Thanks,
even
brother.
like in not a bad way, and like you've really been trusting the Lord with it. I've only known you for a year or two now, but like you walk the walk.
Thanks, man.
And you're
It's a
going
journey.
through it, but you're pushing forward.
Thanks.
We didn't even talk about the roasting.
Pushing. Oh yeah, dude. We had a roast. I don't know. In the middle of this 101 project, I'm like, yeah, let's get a roaster.
Yeah.
And not just a roaster, but like a loring. Like, let's get a good roaster. Yeah. And yeah, we're gonna have to do just another video. Yeah. We'll talk more about
But that's
it.
also kind of like, and we kind of said at the beginning, like journey of where it started, where it is, and where it's going. Like the roaster is a huge part of where the direction of vinyl's going. And I don't know, you talk on it better than I will, but
yeah, and we'll share more. We'll have to do another episode.
Yeah.
So this is like mainly the backstory of vinyl, letting you guys into kind of like my view of it, I guess, in some ways. And I'm sure we'll even dive into more specific stories and stuff too. But yeah, the future of vinyl is really exciting. It's terrifying, but it's really exciting. Like, our goal is to serve this community as well as we can on a local level with amazing food, amazing coffee. We want to bring the evenings to life downtown and add new food to our menu that helps serve that. That's only available in the evenings. We're stoked to share some of that.
dude, I can't
we might
wait.
have some brisket, dude. We might have like, it's going to be crazy. The menu is going to be sick. And we're working on it, developing it. We're bringing on more help. Super excited about some of the people coming alongside vinyl right now.
Yep.
But then on the roasting side of things, we want to be like a coffee that serves the music industry and that serves artists and producers and record labels and tour support. I love music, and I want to continue to I want to support music, and I also want to be just part of it, you know? Yeah. And the ultimate goal is to grow the roastery to a level where it allows us to bring in artists in the studio without it costing them an arm and a leg, and bringing their songs to life with the help of the roastery.
Full circle.
So yeah, we'll share more. Stoked about it. Chad, thanks for asking good questions. This was honestly so good for me to just talk through this and unpack this. And
I'm glad because you even kind of alluded to it earlier off camera, but you share the story so much, but they don't get the nitty gritty details.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll dive in. So also, if you are still with us, if you watch this, thank you for listening to our stories. Thanks for getting to know Chad and getting to know me. We don't always talk about ourselves. It's a little different. But thank you for being a part of this. It's really fun. It's healthy for us to kind of unpack ourselves in a weird way.
It is.
And we also want to know if you have any questions. Like, please throw questions in the comments about the vinyl journey. Like, we want to be an open book, You
can leave comments on Spotify now.
Comment on Spotify.
Yeah.
Comment on our IG.
DM us on Instagram.
Let us know, you know. So,
but
yeah.
Thanks for watching. It's a longer one, but honestly, it's a really good one. I feel like
we're learning how to talk.
Feeling a lot better about it.
A little less awkward.
And it looks like, honestly, looking at the camera, it looks nice.
Yeah, it looks cool.
So
and looking forward to, we're stoked to bring on our friend Daniel. We've got a friend, Zach Collette, who is always doing cool stuff. We're stoked to bring Zach on. We've got all kinds of people in this community that we want to bring on this channel. So even if you know people that you're like, hey, I want to hear more about this guy's story or this girl's story or like whatever it is, please let us know. We're stoked to just include people and tell some stories.
That's what we're here for. So thanks for watching this episode of No Rewind, and we will see you in the next one. Ciao.
Cheers.